Are we back? I think we're back. Let's see. Yeah, we got it going on. All right, let's share this out right here. Copy link. All right. So it took a second to click over, or, sync over, I should say. There we go. And then we could go into the coffee talk and share it for people who want to go a few minutes more. Okay. So good morning. This is what I wanted to share on this. I did want to, actually it was this. Where is it? Philadelphia is a zombie town. It's official. It's just the most horrid thing I've ever seen in like years. And I want to find it because Philadelphia zombie. It's basically what it was named. Yeah. Here you go. You can't make this up. This is the scariest shit ever. If I were to see this in real life, I would go home and take a shower immediately. Okay. So here we go. Let's make this big. What? Like, and they just walking through the crowd, like, and they just chilling, sleeping, laying out on the floor. This is a sad state we're living in. No poisoning is. I would be so afraid to touch anything with the residues of God knows what where. Wow. Look at it. How are we going to clean this up? How are we going to get these people sober? Whew. I mean, I just ain't got no words for that. It's scary, right? Ooh. I don't know. I pray for all those people. It looks real sad to me. Real sad. So we had that. And then I wanted to read this right here because I was talking about this before. The truth about school shootings is coming out. It's a special report by Timothy Charles Homseth on his website. The secret truth about school shootings across the country is coming out right before your eyes. On May 28, 2024, News 5 Nashville reported, quote, "Something is not right. Conspiracy cop pushes bogus theories about Covenant shooting, video shows," end quote. The News 5 coverage about Millersville conspiracy cop soon merged into a very high-profile feud between Phil Williams and City of Millersville Assistant Police Chief Sean Taylor. His colleague, Craig Randall Sawman Sawyer, the founder of Veterans for Child Rescue in Arizona, based out of Arizona, the City of Millersville Police Department has been partnering with Sawyer and V4CR to run Operation Clean Sweep, which involves a web-based child sex predator type sting online. The May 28th news report by Phil Williams, News 5, focused on things Taylor said during a podcast about the Covenant school shootings in Nashville. Williams focused in on something Taylor said about a school official. That's in quotes. Even more disturbing are the claims that Taylor made with zero evidence that the shooter was actually trying to take out a school official who has somehow involved in this sinister scheme, Williams reported. Williams then used his labeling tactics and thought stopper phrases, quote, conspiracy theorists, to throw cold water on Taylor's suggestion that human trafficking may be connected to Covenant school shooting. Here's how Williams characterized Taylor's comments. Quote, you guys, that I am digging into the child trafficking and human trafficking, and this woman just happened to be a part of that, Taylor told his fellow conspiracy theorists. And here's a picture. I'll share this for you so you can identify who he's in cahoots with. And in here, you shall see, I'll make it bigger. There you go. That right there is Taylor. That is Michael Jaco, former SEAL, blah, blah, blah. And this right here is Alpha Warrior. Okay? So, this gentleman was on his podcast. Let me make it smaller again so I can read. Here we go. So, these are the three, okay? That's supposedly the sheriff, assistant sheriff, Millersville, Michael Jaco, SEALed guy, and this gentleman right here is the Alpha Warrior of the Alpha Warrior Show. Now, Sean Taylor appears in the upper left, podcasting, discussing the Covenant shooting, right? Williams and News 5 certainly do not hesitate to use their massive reach and influence to assure that public there's nothing amiss or cynical about the Covenant shooting, including suggesting by Taylor that the backstory behind the shooting might be connected to human trafficking. It's all just conspiracy theory, Williams and News 5 will tell you. However, Williams and the News 5 have gotten way ahead of themselves and are much too positive about their own guesswork. Williams and News 5 might consider using their investigative resources to determine if Assistant Chief of Police Sean Taylor is part of what is called the Sovereign Military or the Luciferian Brotherhood. Williams is well-seasoned investigative reporter. One might imagine that Williams has pondered once or twice during his almost obsessive news coverage of Taylor, who exactly who are these paramilitary men and naval SEALs that Taylor hangs out with? And how does Taylor come to think he knows so much about very cynical ongoings in schools? Here's why Williams' reporting for News 5 is incomplete. On October 12th, 2023, we reported Jessie Marie Zaboter, dead people, body parts, rats, animals placed in Casper, Wyoming area water supply and human hunting parties. The report on Timothy Charles Homestead's reports website included sworn statements from federal RICO witness, Jessie Marie Zaboter, who describes being a witness to crimes against children in the school systems. Zaboter is a witness in a federal RICO authored by Attorney Stephen Scott Biss from Virginia. Zaboter swears she was present and observing Craig Sawyer assist Hillary Rodham Clinton in rape, torture, murder, cannibalism event where Sawyer scalded, tied up children with hot water before Clinton ate the little girl's penile gland. Okay. Attorney Biss is an attorney and friend of General Michael Flynn and the Flynn family. Then you got the U.S. National Security Director of National Intelligence and Senior Aide Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, former CIA agent Robert David Steele, former U.S. Secret Service Dan Bongino, former House Intelligence Chair Committee Congressman Devin Nunes, now who's the CEO of Truth Social, and former Minnesota Administrative Tribunal Judge Randy Lynn Erickson, and also Timothy Charles Homestead, the war correspondent. In our October 12th, 2023 report, Zaboter describes exactly what Taylor is alluding to in his statements about the schools. Zaboter is a satanic cult defector who was trained and tortured as a child by the United States military and a witch coven. Zaboter provides extensive details about the activities of the sovereign military and the Luciferian Brotherhood. Here is a segment of Zaboter's statement about child trafficking by the military through the school systems. Quote, "Not only did I witness these individuals present when crimes were being committed against children, they aided in their cover-up of crimes, including rape, torture, satanic ritual, murder, human hunting parties, and adrenochrome harvesting, organ harvesting, human meat markets, and cannibalism. These individuals worked hand in hand with the individuals of the Casper educational system and churches to supply the U.S. military and sovereign military with children being trained in the Luciferian Brotherhood, as well as expendable children from outside the area. As a child, I would be marked present in school, but I would not be present all day at that location. How did this work? I would show up at school and be marked present with about 20 other children in class. Then I and a select few would be removed from the class and taken to meet up with our teachers in the Luciferian Brotherhood and sovereign military. I would be taken out through the underground and to different locations in the Casper area. If at Hillcrest Elementary, it usually was out the side door by the gym. I had defense magic training the first thing in the morning. Several places where that occurred included the Cathedral of St. Peter in Rockford, Illinois, or St. Anthony's Parish School in Casper, Wyoming. During these times, I was removed from class with a few other children while another teacher would come in and remain with the children in class. This should be a huge point of concern, Zaboter said. And Zaboter continues, what is happening to the children in Casper, Wyoming area and of our country when they are supposed to be in school? The educational system in the state of Wyoming cannot say that they are blameless in the matter. They hire a teacher to be full-time in a classroom with a certain number of children. However, if that teacher is considered a special teacher, meaning she also works with the Luciferian Brotherhood or the sovereign military training programs, the school pays for or has a third-party payee who finances another teacher to come in and stay with the remainder of the class who are not part of the special program training. How many years has Casper, Wyoming School District, along with other school districts in the United States, continued to operate this way? Who is aware of these operations with each district, Zaboter has said. So much for all of it being a conspiracy theory. Zaboter's affidavits are in the possession of the United States Court, the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division, and President Donald John Trump. Of course, Phil Williams and News 5 are at absolute liberty to pick and choose what areas of focus for their reports and investigations. However, Williams has reported on Taylor and Sawyer extensively, as well as using footage of the Alpha Warrior show, where Taylor makes many of his statements. Below is a screenshot of the homepage of the Alpha Warrior. Certainly, Williams, News 5, and News 5 has seen it. Certainly, Williams has seen the big bold claps. General Flynn, their main man. This is strike 2 for Williams and Channel 5. And here you see Flynn, PSYOP warfare, Boone Cutler, yeah, Alpha's store merch and all that good stuff. Yay, go buy a shirt. Gee. Oh, Lord. Now, continuing on June 8th, 2024, we reported breaking down very disturbing videos sent to Millersville, Tennessee police chief regarding sexual mutilation of child. Millersville, Tennessee involved in Hollywood death cult. In short, child victim Adrian John Wells has explained that he knows Craig Sawyer, just like Jesse Zaboter, and Sawyer is a pedophile, child trafficker, and kid basher, from the words of Adrian John Wells. Okay, you can listen to a clip here. If you want to hear him say it yourself, we could play it. Let's play it. What are you going to do? Kick me out? It's 13.
The Prime Minister of Australia stabbed me with a knife in my groin area, through the groin into other parts of my sexual organs when I was only 9 years old. So this was like an initiation into the cult of what was liberalism in Australia affiliated to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hollywood celebrities. And the Hollywood structure in Australia is built around mutilating children as their initiation. These people in America are criminals in California, and these celebrities, and they don't allow anyone just to join their gang, especially an Australian. And it's basically that these celebrities are the Australian government in secret, and the Australian government only joined their initiation into like in a child exploitation cult, or a child would be also known as a child death cult. So you can understand why Australia is what it is. It's a domestic terrorist nation because it works for a death cult of children out of California. And that death cult of children are affiliated to Hollywood, directly to drug cartels in Mexico. So this is dirty government, though, in California. This is just not like just some sort of small drug cartel. As I said, I was at Area 51 in the year 1983. I got to fly on a small plane that was called Tasset Blue, the whale, and another man that was with us on site. He was from Arizona. His name is Craig Randall Sawman Sawyer. He's now found on Facebook and Twitter as Vets for Child Rescue. But he wasn't Vets for Child Rescue then in 1983. He was a human trafficker working in professional child exploitation. And what I mean by professional child exploitation, that's where they use children in political espionage. That's why I was kidnapped. I was kidnapped for an attack on Australian ports, to sell Australian ports to drug cartels around the world. So liberals make up a very big lie in Australia, what they say they really did. They try to say that they got rid of old unions that were dirty or affiliated to allowing drugs into Australia. It's the complete opposite. It's liberals that wanted rid of the old Labor Party affiliation to unions like a stronghold on ports to allow scabs, foreign entities, to work on Australian wharves, to allow drugs, crime, and other technology into the country. So Craig Randall Sawman Sawyer was affiliated to doing this with Area 51. And Area 51 is a national security site. So you can imagine the level of security they have in Australia. That's what they were given, to just do whatever they like with celebrities, affiliated through drug cartels in the United States Air Force. Of course, when it comes to Area 51, are not the United States Air Force. Area 51 is actually a site for the CIA and the National Security Agency belonging to the United States Army. And then obviously with any aircraft they test, they're immediately all part of like a tri-service, because the United States Navy obviously has massive carriers where they keep aircraft. They have specialized military pilots. So the level of securities that they handle at Area 51 are testing aircraft. Then when it comes to the CIA, it becomes a tri-service. So it's not just Area 51 personnel who are United States Air Force personnel members that I met as a child there. And I was probably there at Area 51 up until near Christmas, December 1983. People have even put posts on Facebook about a whale that I drew while I was there. There's a picture of a whale. And I drew that when I was a kid. I was only 4 years old, and I was being moved around with military men. And the personnel on base just let me do kids' drawings while I was there. They've got a kids' drawing there. They talk about it. Someone said that they've been to Area 51, and there was a message on Facebook talking about a picture that's in a frame in one of the office quarters in Area 51 of a captain or an officer, and it's just a picture of a whale. And that's what I drew while I was there. I know I drew it. I drew it on a piece of paper. I was surprised they'd even keep it. Maybe they just took a photocopy of it. I don't know. But that's, to them, it was sort of pretty far out anyway. They have a 4-year-old child there with an Australian Army officer, His Excellency, the Honourable David John Hurley. Now, these domestic terrorists in Australia that believe that they're a business to me, to ownership of my soul type of thing, believe that they're a business entity to me. So this is why I created Plane Crash Investigations. This is why I created this website. Because these people I grew up with in Aspendale weren't in the Australian Army. Scott Morrison worked in accounts at the CSIRO, not far from my house where I lived at 38 Iluka Avenue, Aspendale. that was just a government institution of the Marine Atmospheric and Research Centre, which is CSIRO, it's the CSIRO in Australia,
What
is
I'm
connected
explaining
to
here,
NASA directly.
that
So NASA is an
is
American.
mini empires for child pornography. It's what their type of harboring they're managing as an offshore tax haven for Jeffrey Epstein in Australia. They're managed, I know this because I experienced it as a child. I was in America. I was with Bill Clinton. I was with Hillary Clinton. I was with Jeffrey Epstein. I was with David John Hurley, who was trafficking me. I was with Craig Randall Sawman Sawyer, who's in Hollywood, become a stuntman. US Navy SEAL, human trafficker and kid basher and pedophile like the rest of them. So what does he advertise himself after the year 1983? He left the US Army and became a US Navy SEAL. Now he pretends he's vets for child rescue, in quotes. Would you trust a pedophile advertising themselves on Twitter as veterans for child rescue? Reckons he goes around rescuing children out of human trafficking rings. This was a man that worked with an Australian Army soldier for months on end while I was in America as a child, helping that Australian Army soldier cover America with a kidnapped child, which was me, Adrian John Wells. Do you really trust Craig Randall Sawman Sawyer? This is the type of comedy set they're running through a government system. It's just like mock people, you know. It's just, they're just sex offenders, child sex offenders, pretending they're not.